what an issue we have in front of us. Real quick, here's my bad look power rankings, Ray. This whole thing, bad look power rankings. Well, Draymond Green is Alabama. He's number one, unquestioned. He's a consensus number one at the top of the power rankings of looking bad. Number two is the Warriors for trying to spin this into just a normal basketball skirmish that happens at practice all the time. No, it's not what happened. Number three, the Warriors' internal circle of trust. Like, who let that video out? Was it someone who was just there filming? Was it actually a team employee? Was it a video coordinator who knows that, like, yeah, this gets traced back to me. I probably don't have a career in the NBA, so you better make it worth my while, TMZ. Whoever got paid off for this, I hope it's enough to make sure that they still can write their rent payments after the Warriors clearly fire whoever did this.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't think it's anybody like from the video group. Just because that's a job you can have for a lot of years. And I don't know that TMZ is going to cover all your bills for the next 10.
I bet you they paid $500,000 for that video.
I bet they didn't pay nearly that much. I bet that's not worth $500,000.
Based on the 20 million impressions, Ray?
But they don't cash in on impressions. I mean, they probably pay, I would guess they would pay maximum $200,000. And even at that, that's probably a stretch. But I'm not a TMZ expert, so I'm just blowing gas
as
usual. Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway, the fact is, I find the timing more interesting than whoever did it, because yesterday it seemed like, okay, everybody got their 24 hours worth out of this. The Warriors seemed to have this moderately handled. And then it comes out. Now, there's only three possibilities here. TMZ started casting around for possible video of it. I mean, I'm sure the Warriors wouldn't have helped them there. The Warriors wanted it out in a way that seems actually kind of sneaky. Or they still let guests in to watch basketball practice, which seems odd to me since it's their building.
Yeah.
And they're in charge of who gets in and who gets out. So that's an interesting notion. But the fact that it came out today after yesterday seemed to have it tamped down confuses me all the more, because what do the Warriors gain by dredging this up even more?
Again, bad look power rankings. Draymond, roll tide. He's Alabama. The Warriors are trying to spin this into a basketball skirmish. The Warriors' internal circle of trust. How did the video actually get out? Number four, fans who are still trying to dismiss this as, this is normal. Like, nothing to see here. This happens all the time. Kiss my ass. This does not happen all the time in a professional NBA setting. Some of the time, yeah. But those two guys are usually going at each other, like actually playing basketball. These are two guys who were not on the court. Number five, bad look, Draymond's future with this team. Draymond's future in this league. All a bad look right now. And for number six, it's not his fault, but this is a bad look for Jordan Poole. I know everyone is rushing to defend him, rightfully so. He's the man who should be defended in this video. But it is not good for him, his image, his Q rating, anything. This is not good for him. It's not cataclysmically bad, but it's just not a good look. And, anyone who wants to debate me about this, let me record someone dropping you like a 50-pound sack of potatoes and have 20 million people watch it, and you tell me if you're cool with that. Like, if Jordan Poole really comes out of this, like, ain't no big deal, man. I'm just here to get buckets. He is one of the baddest mofos this team has ever had on it, and they should give him infinity dollars. Pay him like Steph right now. Because if that's how he is wired, he's a bad man.
But that's not what they're paying on. They're going to pay on whether he can become, whether he can force his way into playing 35 minutes a game on a team that's already got two guards. That's how they're going to do this. This is not going. This may impact everybody else's thinking, but it's not going to impact the Warriors.
Sports don't build character, Ray. They reveal it. If Jordan Poole is literally nothing but Johnny High Road on this the entire way through, like, Draymond, I forgive you. Let's move on. I don't want to hear about it. It's not haunting me when I sleep at night. If that's the way Jordan Poole really is wired and walks through this, that matters.
Well, yeah,
that matters.
That's what that's one of the things the Warriors want to see. And it's one of the things that Stephen Curry definitely wants to see. Because the truth is, Stephen Curry is at some point, if he hasn't done this already, he's going to go up to Jordan Poole and say, you don't get to hold a grudge on this because then you're screwing with everybody. We need this to be seamless. All right? We don't, to win a championship, everybody has to pull the same way.
How many times have they said that to Draymond? How many times have they said that to Draymond Green, and he's still pulling this at age 32 in year
but that's
11 or whatever it is?
Okay, but this is still the message he's going to get. They're not going to pin this on him. I mean, they're going to say this to Draymond too, but Jordan Poole is the guy who, if he wants to stay here, that's going to be the message Steph Curry says. It's, you got wronged, but above all else, this is our team, and of all of us, I'm first among equals. I want another championship, and you holding a grudge isn't going to help me, so don't. And I don't think that's an unreasonable message to send. And I think Jordan Poole, if he's got sense about it.
Let me ask you about what grudges I could talk you out of if you didn't really want to do that, Ray. As stubborn as you are, the answer is none. Zero grudges. I couldn't.
But that's why I'm not playing basketball.
Of a chip off your shoulder. But
that's not why I'm not playing basketball.
Right. But
I'm a weaker person.
I hope Jordan Poole.
He probably is.
Look at it this way.
He knows how to do math.
Yeah, everything about him has been wildly impressive. That guy got to the league. He was almost pushed out of the league. He went back to the G League, worked his way back. I mean, there's nothing about this kid that doesn't signal, I'm actually a badass over here. Like a real badass, not this false badass that Draymond Green, in my mind, looks like today.
But more to the point, when you said that this makes Jordan Poole look bad, I'm not sure it does. Because it's not like a situation where, you see him instigating. He took a punch to the face, one that nobody knew was coming. Not even Rod Adams. I mean, he didn't know that it was going to go this way.
I think Ron did.
I think he thought there might be words. I don't think he saw a punch coming. I don't think anybody did. And I think the fact that Jordan Poole got hit with a punch that nobody expected to see coming does no damage to him at all. It doesn't make him look weak. It doesn't make him look soft.
It's public perception.
It makes him look like a victim.
It's public perception, man. Public perception. Look at it this way. Chris Rock didn't do anything wrong but tell a joke. And everybody had Chris Rock jokes the very next day.
That's because everybody always...
But that's the thing. The internet is a cruel place that doesn't consider what is fair, what is right. They just see targets and they go after it.
But the internet are empty calories. Jordan Poole's playing for bigger stakes than the internet.
Right. I understand that.
And it's not... So it's... Ultimately, he doesn't look bad at all on this. Some people will have a joke at his expense from time to time, but it doesn't stick any more than it stuck to Chris Rock. Chris Rock is more revered than ever because he didn't react.
I think this could follow an athlete around for his entire career.
Only if he wanted to fight and showed signs he was ready to go and then took a punch. Yeah, I see your point. He didn't do that.
No.
He just got cold-cocked.
Right, just like Chris Rock. Just like Chris Rock, Ray.
But Chris Rock still came out way better in the end than Will Smith did.
But Chris Rock isn't going to go into an actual, arena of competition. He just stands up on the stage and he's funny. Jordan Poole has to bow up to grown-ass men all over this league for the next 10 years.
Which he was going to have to do anyway.
Right, but now he's got to do it with this. It's a part of it. It's part of the story. And it's not just part of the story. It's paragraph 1 of the obituary level part of the story. This is now the defining moment of a young career so far. Not the NBA title he just won. This is how Planet Basketball will see him and view him and talk about him for a long time, man. And you can say that the internet is empty calories. Well, that's why the world's so fat, because they can't stop eating these empty calories. 888-957-9570. This is Tony in Alameda. You're on 95.7 The Game. Hello. A going once, a twice, a thrice, and no dice. This is Steve.
Did you just make that up?
I did. Steve from Florida. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, how you doing? I'm probably bad. I know me and my whole family is shooken up. I just had one of my kids question if he should even go back to practice because he's so scared that one of his teammates might do what Draymond did. And it's really, I'm shooken up, man. You got to really think about it. Who's next? When Steve Kerr benches him, is he going to punch Steve Kerr?
I would say that your son probably doesn't have much to worry about at his basketball practice. I would certainly hope not. But yeah, the whole Draymond Green has all the house credit in the world to which he can spend any way he wants in the casino. I think those days are officially over now. I mean, how do you give Draymond all the house credit he needs? I would be pulling the marker. This is someone who is no longer a trusted agent. As long as emotions are involved in the equation, this is now a definitive equation that Draymond Green can come out on the losing end of. Time and time again. He can't stop his nose from running. He can't. And he's just such a blowhard. I mean, he's an entertaining blowhard. I should know. I can see it in the mirror. An entertaining blowhard, for sure. But he goes out of his way to not use this podcast for anything other than vindictive vendetta settling. I mean, after an NBA title, he didn't want to sit down to record a podcast to talk about what an incredible accomplishment he and his team just did, what they just accomplished. He didn't want to talk about that. He wanted to spend a full 40 minutes on the FU tour. Didn't believe in us? F you, F everyone. F everyone. Draymond's got no respect. And you can't give respect if you got no respect. That man has got no respect for his team, for his league, and that's definitive now. The only thing that Draymond could possibly offer the Golden State Warriors is the correct rotation on off-ball movement. I know the phrase, shut up and dribble, is now tantamount to a racist saying. And it should be, because it was used by Laura Ingraham trying to silence basketball players, talking about social media or social justice causes. Draymond, shut up and dribble, dude. I got nothing. There's nothing left from you that you can possibly say that makes me think these words are anything other than temporary and hollow. And I can prove that because on Draymond Green's podcast, here's how much he loved the way Jordan Poole was talking.
One thing that Jordan did that showed me he's going to be all right in this league actually happened in training camp of his rookie year. Jordan came into camp talking shit to everybody, and I remember one day him and Glenn Robinson III, they got into it. All these guys are coming to me like, tell him to shut up. His young ass always got something to say. But I'm like, I'm not going to tell him to shut up. If you can't handle him talking shit, that's on you. At that moment, though, the way he was getting under guys' skin, I appreciated that. You know, you couple that with the hard work that he puts in and the amount of skill that he has. And it is a recipe for a guy who's going to be successful in this league.
I mean, that's the thing. This whole thing was trying to be framed as, Draymond, man, at all times.
He's a competitor.
No, this is not a competitor. This is kind of a punk. Like, if he can play good defense for the Warriors, he can play for the Warriors this year. I don't think there's going to be much interest in other teams adding someone who could do this and fly off the handle. Like when someone shows you who they are time and time again, believe it. And Draymond has lost an awful lot of capital, I think.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. He's got to remake, his and I hate to use the word image, but he's got to remake his place in the basketball world. That's clear.
Starting locally. I mean, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
For Draymond's image to be tarnished around the NBA, whatever. Who cares?
Well, no, but
his image is tarnished in Chase Center.
I'm agreeing with you there. I mean, the only place I get off the train here is I don't think Jordan Poole looks bad on this at all. I don't know what his future with this team is, but I do know that he gets to determine that in ways that maybe the Warriors will regret if he leaves more now than ever. But in terms of looking bad, no, he got hit by a punch that shouldn't have been coming, was out of context, everything that was happening before it, and he's the smaller guy. So it's not like Jordan Poole knocked out Draymond Green with the same punch. It's he's one of the smallest guys in the league. I mean, he would almost be borderline scrawny by NBA definitions. So I don't see where, other than having a sore jaw today, that there's anything bad that's happened to him. I think people will look at him and go, he's the guy who got sucker punched. He's the victim here. And victims usually don't catch much grief.
Gabriel and Napa, you're on 95.7 The Game. Gabriel, what do you got?
Fellas, what a great ride. I'm in Calistoga now, by the way.
Send wine.
Be serious. Yeah, one, to be a little bit serious. Draymond Green is exhibiting the behavior of someone who has a mental illness. 65% of America is suffering some. I should know. I'm bipolar. I deal with it with my medication and try to drink water. And I've been there. I've been a jackass. And my stepbrother is in prison for being a habitual line stepper. Draymond is in double digits with this kind of stuff. And if he doesn't deal with it, it's going to get worse, man. He punch a guy in the nightclub. Anyway, that stuff that's happening in the gym or on his, it's just so obvious that the real victim is himself. He just keeps hurting himself over and over. And thus his family. I mean, can you imagine, the embarrassment? Secondly, on the basketball side of things, Jordan Poole, by being Johnny Highroad, he's going to make $150 million because the Warriors are going to appreciate that. They want to sign him anyway. He's the future. And then, back to Draymond and his basketball future, the way they're going to honor him as an all-time great Warrior is, hey, take your pick. You want to go to Detroit? You want to go to Orlando? Hey, Clutch, you pick one. Draymond Green has played his last game with the Warriors, and I will put a 2013 bottle of Dariush on the table, Ray.
Okay, send one over.
Right. I mean, I guess he's playing. Look at it this way. Unless something changes, he's playing opening night. Unless something changes, he's playing opening night. Now, Gabriel, thanks so much for the call.
Don't get his address because he's delivering a bottle.
He is on the record.
He talked it. He's going to walk it.
Here's what Steve Kerr said was going to happen.
Didn't practice today. I won't be here tomorrow, and I expect him to return on Saturday and get back at it.
So just after this video leak today, he's back in the gym tomorrow. Nothing happened. See you on opening night. He's playing in the preseason. I mean, the Warriors had painted themselves into that corner because, by the way, even though we're the ones who saw the tape for the first time today, the Warriors knew exactly what happened. They were there. And I'm sure if this was property of the Golden State Warriors, this tape at one point, they saw the tape too. This is one of those, you get me that video right away. And I don't know how the Warriors can save face by now further suspending Draymond Green, because at this point they'd be saying, well, we're not suspending Draymond Green over the action anymore. We're now suspending him over your general public reaction. And I don't think that makes them look good. So
that's dishonest.
Yeah, they painted themselves into a no real where to run to kind of corner the way that they just wanted to dismiss this all yesterday. And, look at it this way. For those on the text line, there's a guy over here on the YouTube chat named Marv who's just trying to troll so hard, talking about, Damon, you got white fragility. You tell that to Steven Jackson. I don't think Steven Jackson suffers from white fragility. And if there's one thing I do know about is Steven Jackson knows more about the code of the NBA than any chatter on YouTube ever will.
And there's no reason to sucker punch a young fella. You know what I'm saying? But I told Draymond last night, he got to fix that situation with Poole. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't benefit from it at all. He got to be the big bro and go over there and tell little bro, look, I spazzed out. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da. But you never hit the little homies like that in practice. All your teammates, man. You never do that. I've never done that, bro. Never done that.
Steven Jackson has discharged firearms in strip club parking lots in Indianapolis. That wasn't too far for him. But hitting a teammate in practice? No, he draws the line there.
I'm just amused by the fact that I haven't heard the phrase spazzed out in about 50 years.
Yeah, that is a new one.
It's not a new one. It's a really old one.
Right. Actually, I think somebody... Didn't Beyonce just remove the phrase spazzed out because it offended people from a new... Anyways, I don't know. Here we go to Eric in San Francisco. Ray, do you know anything about Beyonce?
I'm aware of her existence.
That's about where I had you. Eric in San Francisco. What do you got, Eric?
Ooh.
How you guys doing, man?
Doing well.
All right. So what I wanted to say is, in the future, anytime that Jordan Poole plays an NBA game and say he gets into it, they're going to start using that against him, and they're going to try to use that to punk him and all that, and more technicals and more penalties and all that are going to start coming with this because they're going to just see him getting punched. They're going to try to get under his skin. I feel like everybody in the NBA is going to try to use something like that against him.
Well, I mean, is there any doubt that Draymond Green's going to lead the league in technical fouls? I mean, the man just said, here's how you get under my skin. Bring up the fact that Jordan Poole's a better player, about to make more money than I'll ever see. That should really rile Draymond up. I mean, Eric, you still there?
I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Now I'm talking about Jordan Poole. If he starts getting into arguments with other players, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's what follows the poor guy around now. Deservedly so, not deservedly so. It sucks. It sucks. He's collateral damage because Draymond Green, once again, couldn't keep his emotions in check. Not in the heat of competition, not over the course of the highly intense NBA regular season or the even higher intensity that comes with the playoffs or the ultimate intensity of the NBA Finals. This man melted down watching practice. Watching practice.
You just Iverson there.
Yeah, I did a little bit. But this is some serious, not what it was framed to be yesterday. I don't think there's any doubt about that.